right now on News Channel 8 Today.
A hurricane warning for Haiti and Jamaica as powerful Hurricane Matthew heads towards the islands. The latest on its track and the impact it could have here on Florida. Also, the Trump campaign responding to the release of Donald Trump's 1995 taxes. How this could impact the race for the White House. And a suspicious letter delivered to Mosaic. What federal investigators are telling us was inside the envelope. Good Sunday morning. I am Candace McCowan. Thank you for joining us here on News Channel 8. Right now, we are tracking Hurricane Matthew. This morning, hurricane warnings have been issued for Jamaica and parts of Haiti, and a hurricane watch is in effect for parts of Cuba. People in Jamaica have been preparing for the arrival of Matthew. They were boarding up, filling up, and stocking up in Kingston. Gas stations were crowded with people lining up to fill their cars in plastic storage containers. This morning, leaders in the country are preparing people for the worst.
The band still covers the entire island because the entire Jamaica will be affected by rains, but there will be a greater concentration in the eastern part of the island.
This morning, waves have picked up along Jamaica's coast. Take a look at those. Matthew is the strongest Atlantic hurricane since Felix in 2007. Colombia's eastern provinces are bracing for the predicted arrival of Hurricane Matthew. The country declared the first stage of an emergency in the 5 provinces. President Raul Castro led a meeting with government ministers and defense officials as they oversaw storm preparations. And take a look at this. This is a bird's eye view of Hurricane Matthew. Hurricane hunters will be flying in and out of Matthew in the coming days. Meteorologist Ed Bloodsworth has been tracking Matthew and joins us now with the latest on where it's heading and what impacts it will have on Florida. Ed, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We are still looking at an extremely powerful Category 4 hurricane. The winds 150 miles per hour. You can see that eye there. It's not looking quite as organized as it was earlier this morning, getting a little bit of dry air sort of wrapping into the system here. Pressure's down to 940, and now we have that northwesterly movement. We've been anticipating this for the last couple of days, this general turnoff to the north, and it looks like it's happening right now. Hurricane hunters are just arriving onto the scene now, flying through Hurricane Matthew. They just reported a 70-mile-per-hour wind, but they have not made it to the actual core of the system yet, so we're likely to see some higher winds coming in from the hurricane hunters. Hurricane warnings for Cuba, Haiti, and Jamaica. It is expected to impact those islands as a strong Category 3 hurricane. That would be a major hurricane, and from there, it's not going to likely lose as much strength as initially thought. The waters over the Bahamas still very, very warm, so this could still be a major hurricane sitting just offshore of Florida there. Now, exactly how close it gets to the coast, it's still a little bit up in the air, but now the general consensus of our computer models is that this will likely stay far enough offshore to have minimal impacts on the Tampa Bay area. But the east-facing beaches, rip currents, extremely high waves, could even see some coastal beach erosion as this system passes off to the east. So again, keeping a close eye on Matthew. Also keeping a close eye on conditions here at home. 75 degrees in downtown Tampa. Not much rain out there now, but later on today, 88 degrees, and we're anticipating a better coverage of showers and thunderstorms. We'll talk more about Matthew in greater detail. Also have your complete Sunday forecast coming up in a bit. Candace?
And thank you. Right now, we are following breaking news out of Clearwater. Police are investigating a deadly pedestrian crash on Gulf to Bay Boulevard and Duncan Avenue. News Channel 8's Jana Jones has arrived at the scene in the past 30 minutes. And Jana, Clearwater police have a warning for pedestrians this morning.
Yes, Candace, they urge pedestrians, if you have to walk somewhere, they beg you to please use the crosswalk. They say that is the safest way. That is the smartest way. Around 4:30 this morning, that is when this pedestrian crash happened here on Gulf to Bay Boulevard at Duncan Avenue. They say that a pedestrian stumbled into the road, and that is when a car struck him. They say that, again, this happened around 4:30 this morning, and this is the second pedestrian death in just 4 days here on this boulevard. On Thursday, a pedestrian was pushing a wheelchair fewer than 100 yards from a marked crosswalk. Again, Clearwater police want you to use those crosswalks. We don't know how that man's identity right now. We are expecting to learn it. And here in just a little bit, the medical examiner did just show up here to the scene, so we'll update you right here on air and online when we learn those details. Candace?
Right, an important warning from CPD this morning. Jana, thank you. When your vote, Hillary Clinton's campaign is seizing on a New York Times report about Donald Trump's 1995 tax records. According to the Times, Trump declared a $916 million loss on his 1995 income tax returns. This could have allowed him to legally avoid paying any federal income taxes for up to 18 years. Trump has declined to comment on the documents. Instead, his campaign released a statement saying, quote, Mr. Trump is a highly skilled businessman who has a fiduciary responsibility to his business, his family, and his employees to pay no more tax than legally required. This morning, Clinton's campaign manager Robbie Mook is saying the bombshell report reveals the colossal nature of Donald Trump's past business failures and just how long he may have avoided paying any federal income taxes whatsoever. Hillary Clinton is off the trail today, but still keeping focus on Donald Trump's feud with a former Miss Universe, while Trump's team tries to tie Clinton to the marital misdeeds of her husband. NBC's Chris Pallone has more on the race for the White House.
Taking a page out of Donald Trump's social media playbook, the Hillary Clinton Twitter account started tweeting at 3:20 a.m. Saturday, slamming haters who describe America as hopeless and broken. A swipe at Donald Trump in his Twitter tirade Friday about Clinton, anonymous sources, and former Miss Universe Alicia Machado.
I mean, his latest Twitter meltdown is unhinged, even for him. It proves yet again that he is temperamentally unfit to be president and commander-in-chief.
Trump is hitting back, taking aim at former President Bill Clinton's marriage infidelity and making it a campaign issue, calling Hillary Clinton an enabler in a New York Times interview. Campaign surrogates are going even further.
If she's trying to act as she's somehow a champion for women, she doesn't have a leg to stand on.
But will the attack work? Trump himself, after all, has been married 3 times and went through an ugly divorce from his first wife, Ivana, amidst accusations of infidelity. Supporters in Pennsylvania seem split.
I don't like to see it when he has these emotional outbursts. He has to think about what the people want to hear.
All the stuff that happened in the White House, do you want that again?
Meanwhile, Clinton and Trump's running mates are spending the weekend preparing for their only debate Tuesday night in Virginia. Chris Pallone, NBC News, New York.
Hillary Clinton will campaign in Ohio tomorrow, and Vice President Joe Biden will campaign for her here in Florida. He has rallies scheduled in Orlando and Sarasota. Trump will campaign in Colorado. Mosaic officials confirm that their Lithia office received a threatening letter containing a suspicious substance. Field tests detected nothing dangerous in the substance. This incident follows our reports that 215 million gallons of radioactive water contaminated the Floridian aquifer. 3 nearby residents are now suing Mosaic for not notifying the public about the sinkhole. We spoke with their attorney.
It puts Mosaic in a position of now having to take corrective action in advance of the problem. And apparently they didn't, or we wouldn't have had this problem.
Well, as for who sent the threatening letter, we are still working to learn if authorities have any leads. St. Petersburg police are investigating the death of a man found floating in a lake. The 60-year-old victim was discovered at Booker Creek Park on 13th Avenue North. Foul play is not suspected at this time. However, people who go to that park have concerns and they want answers.
It's just not a good thing. I mean, I come here to the park every day, and it's not something I want to see.
Well, as soon as we learn more information in this case, we will bring it to you on air and online. A Largo woman was hit and killed by an SUV overnight in St. Petersburg. Police tell us 29-year-old Dana Santoyo stepped off the curb of 5th Avenue North and right into the path of a Dodge Durango. The driver swerved, but the right side of his SUV hit Santoyo. He immediately stopped and called 911. Santoyo later died at the hospital. 2 people are recovering after a stabbing at an Ybor City nightclub. It happened at Club Sky on East 8th Avenue. 1 person was rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Another victim suffered minor injuries. We're told police detained 1 person, but we still don't know how they are involved. Happening today, the Clearwater Superboat races. Strap in, sit back, and take in the action from Pier 60. The first race on the 2.5-mile course will kick off at noon. The second race at 1:30, and the last race today at 3 o'clock. For VIP passes, you can go to the race's website, and Shepherd's Beach Resort will be hosting the official beach after party. That starts at 4. This morning, a warning for California residents, parts of the state now under a major earthquake alert. Plus, remembering the 6-year-old victim of the South Carolina school shooting. His mother's message of forgiveness next in our news across America. You're watching News Channel 8 today. Time now is 7:09.